Imagine you have poured your heart and soul into building a successful startup, and now a big investor wants to buy a large chunk of shares from one of your co-founders. What if you, as a smaller shareholder, want the same opportunity to sell a portion of your stake, or simply protect yourself from being left behind? Co-sell rights and tag-along rights are fundamental protective mechanisms in startup shareholder agreements, designed to ensure fairness when shares are sold. A tag-along right, also known as a co-sell right in many contexts, primarily allows a minority shareholder to sell their shares alongside a larger or majority shareholder if that larger shareholder decides to sell their stake to a third party. The core difference often comes down to the perspective. Tag-along emphasizes the minority's right to join a majority sale, while co-sell broadly describes the mechanism allowing existing shareholders to participate in a sale initiated by another shareholder. Both provisions prevent a large shareholder from making a lucrative exit without giving others a similar opportunity. Understanding these rights is critical for founders and investors alike because they safeguard your equity value and influence potential exit scenarios. Let us break them down individually. A tag-along right provides crucial protection for minority shareholders. Imagine a scenario where a large investor or a founder with a significant stake decides to sell their shares to an outside buyer. Without a tag-along right, that buyer might only acquire the majority stake, leaving the minority shareholders with illiquid shares in a company now controlled by a new party they may not know or trust. The tag-along provision mandates that if the majority shareholder sells their shares, they must offer the same proportional selling opportunity and terms to all other shareholders who wish to participate. This means that if the majority shareholder sells 50% of their shares, every other shareholder with tag-along rights can also sell 50% of their shares at the same price and conditions. This ensures that minority shareholders are not left stranded or forced to accept a less favorable deal later on. It essentially creates a collective sale, or what we call a pro rata sale, where everyone gets a fair slice of the pie. Conversely, while often synonymous, a co-sell right broadly refers to the general ability of existing shareholders to participate proportionally in any sale of shares by another shareholder to a third party. It serves a similar protective function, ensuring that if one founder or early investor decides to liquidate a significant portion of their ownership, others are not disadvantaged. For example, if a founder wants to sell 20% of their shares to an outside entity, co-sell rights would typically allow other founders or investors to sell a proportional amount of their own shares in that same transaction. This prevents situations where one shareholder might gain a significant financial advantage without extending the opportunity to others. Both rights are fundamental in maintaining fairness and liquidity for all shareholders, particularly in early-stage companies where finding buyers for individual stakes can be challenging. So, how do you make sure these rights are in place and benefit you? These provisions are typically negotiated and included in your company's shareholder agreement or an investment agreement. As a founder, when raising capital or bringing on new partners, always scrutinize these clauses. You will want to understand the triggers for these rights, such as what constitutes a sale or who is considered a selling shareholder. Ensure the terms are clear regarding notice periods, the mechanics of participation, and how the purchase price is allocated. For example, some agreements might requiring a certain percentage of shares to be sold before tag-along rights are triggered. Make sure the agreement specifies how many days notice you will receive before a potential sale, allowing you enough time to decide if you want to participate. This proactive approach ensures you are prepared and protected during major equity events. These rights are more than just legal jargon. They are vital tools for fostering trust and ensuring equitable treatment among shareholders. They provide liquidity opportunities for all owners, not just the large ones during a liquidity event, which is an industry term for any event that converts illiquid assets, like shares, into cash. By having these clauses clearly defined, you reduce the risk of power imbalances and potential disputes down the line. They provide a clear framework for pro rata participation, meaning participation proportional to your ownership stake. This fair distribution of selling opportunities strengthens investor confidence, as investors know their ability to exit is protected, making your company a more attractive investment. It signals a well-governed company that values all its stakeholders. Ultimately, understanding and properly implementing co-sale and tag along rights empowers all shareholders, from early founders to later-stage investors. They create a level playing field, ensuring that significant share sales benefit everyone proportionally and that no one is left behind during a major transaction. By proactively negotiating and clearly defining these clauses in your agreements, you build a foundation of fairness and transparency, which is crucial for a healthy and thriving startup ecosystem. This proactive step helps secure your future stake and fosters a more equitable distribution of opportunities.